I wanted to ask, why did you go into real estate law? Just because being a fellow New Yorker, when I think lawyers, I think criminal law for some reason.
Yeah. So I did not intend to do real estate. So I actually started at another larger law firm.
I in the past and Selena currently, we're both real estate investors. So
Okay.
if you could give us some advice on, some tips of the trade on how to be a successful real estate investor, because your practice, revolves around representing real estate investors.
We're all ears.
We're taking notes.
The number one lesson that I can take away for clients is choose wisely. So know the area that you're in. And this is where I'm talking about the deep dive. A lot of the times, lawyers are thought of as, just the henchman at the end of it. What I try and tell my client is, no, we are counselors. You need to talk to me through the whole process so that you understand the risks of what you're trying to do when you're buying a property. So a lot of the times it's looking, first of all, at the area. So where are you looking in, what kind of neighborhood it is, what kind of rents are supportive in that neighborhood. You're not going to come in and you're not going to put in a ton of money expecting to raise the rents if the neighborhood doesn't call for it. So looking at that, but moreover, for our area purposes, looking at what courts would service that property so that if something goes wrong, you can know what to expect and how fast you can get your property back, or if that's a problem. Our city court up here is really tough and very heavily in the favor of the tenant. So knowing that you're going to be walking into that court sometimes could be a deterrent for purchasing property if you're not going to intend to be a hands-on landlord, because then you're going to have to buy into a management property, especially if you're an out-of-town investor. Also, looking at the assessed value of a property. I have gotten clients that I see purchase contracts for, and the assessed value is way below their purchase price, and knowing that eventually that's going to catch up on taxes. And does this make sense to purchase this property when, in Rochester, we're on a 4-year cycle for the assessment, and knowing if you're in year 3 and you're purchasing this property way out of whack, all of a sudden you think you're getting a good deal and your taxes go crazy, and you have to think about that. So structure of the deal would follow that. Is it appropriate to buy the actual property, or maybe should you look to buy the membership interest of the company that owns that property? Which then is just a transfer of the actual company itself and not the real estate, even though the real estate becomes an ancillary part of that purchase. So
would that trigger a reassessment of the real estate taxes if you purchase the membership interest?
It doesn't in New York right now. That's one of the loopholes that's there and used, especially when you see, again, those assessed values being really low and a purchase price being, sometimes you'll see assessed value at 1.2 million and I've got a purchase price that's 4.5. It doesn't make sense to invest in that as just a real estate deal. So we will look to do a membership purchase transfer in that instance in a lot of cases where we create a new LLC for warranty and liability purposes, but they will actually only file that the notice in New York that gets filed up at the state level. It doesn't go to the county, so it doesn't trigger the assessment right away. It eventually catches up, but it doesn't right away. And so that helps people be able to put money back into the property for a short-term purpose.
And that's certainly a reason to have an experienced New York real estate lawyer like yourself to assist on a transaction, because that transaction structure that you just described is not something you can pick up a book and figure out. You definitely, there's a lot of challenging aspects of that transaction. Selena?